when you talk about fundamental analysis, you are looking into the fundamentals of the company. You are looking at the qualitative and quantitative aspect. So for fundamental analysis, you have two parts. One is that you use numbers to calculate the fundamental value. The other one, you use your subjectivity, that means your outlook. How do you feel about this industry? How is this management? And then the competition of this industry, things like that. So those requires a lot of your experience. How experienced you are, you can see whether this product is sellable. So for example, if I ask you, do you think iPhone 7 is sellable? Will it increase the shares further for Apple, or will it reduce? What do you think? The first day of their launching, the share price of iPhone dropped about 2%. So that's the market reaction on the new product. Okay. So these are soft issues. So when you do fundamental analysis, right? By the time when you wait until the figures has come out, it could be 3 months later or 1 year later, because the financial report is the audited report is once every year, and the unaudited report is every 3 months. Okay, so by the time when the figures come out, it's already 3 months later, then it will be too late. So for investors like us, we look at product launching, how responsive. Okay, look at the marketing strategies, the advertisement and everything, all these soft issues. Then you will forecast whether this product or the share price will go up further or go down further. So news like that will move the price a lot. Sometimes you don't wait until the figures come out, it will be too late. Okay, now these are the figures. GDP figures, consumer price index, PPI, producer price index, interest rate, housing prices. Okay, now among these items, I will not go into each one because it's too time consuming. Particularly, I will talk about the GDP, okay? Because GDP, gross domestic product, is very, very important for a country, because that is like a report card of a country, how well you are doing. Okay, so if you can flash a report card showing people, see, I have GDP growth of how many % per year, then investors will like that kind of figures. Okay, they will invest in the country. Okay. Now, for GDP growth in Malaysia, our GDP is around how many %? 4%. Okay, developing countries 4 to 6% is normal. Developed countries like Singapore, Japan, US, UK, the percentage is negligible, 1% or 2%. They're happy about it because of their large base. Large base meaning because it's a developed country, they have their GDP is in terms of trillion, a large base. So in order to move that 1%, it takes a lot to move that 1%. Developing country is different, smaller base. So it's easier to move that 1%. Okay, so GDP is important. In the past, our Malaysian GDP, we had recorded 2 negatives. One is in 1997, the other one is in 1975, 2 negatives. Then the 1997-98, there was the worst GDP recorded, minus 7.1%. That was the worst GDP recorded for Malaysia. Okay. Other than that, even the subprime crisis, we registered 0%. Not negative, 0%. Okay, so now this year is about 4%. Next year forecast is about 4% as well. Okay, and the other one, which is quite important, is interest rate. Now, for investors like us, we always track the interest rate every month. Every month, all the banks, central banks, like the RBA, the central banks of Australia, the Bank Negara, the US Fed rate. Okay, and the UK, the Japanese rate, interest rate, every month they will announce whether they will maintain their interest rate, or they will raise their interest rate, or they will reduce their interest rate. This is important because investors look into interest rate. If, let's say, US started to raise the interest rate, what happens to the stock market? It will affect the stock market immediately. immediately. Okay. So if let's say they increase the interest rate, what will happen? The stock market will go up or go down? Go down. Good. Yes. Why? Because the cost of borrowing is higher, more expensive to borrow, right? And then, if let's say you are having a mortgage loan and you see your interest rate is rising, then is it to your advantages or disadvantages? Disadvantages, right? Because it takes you have to pay more to the bank. Okay, so interest rate increase is no good for the economy. Okay, so that's why they keep the interest rate low. But if interest rate too low, is it good for the economy? No effect, liquidity trap, right? You will run into a liquidity trap, and then which means no matter how low is your interest rate, there's no effect. So this is exactly what is happening around the world. They use more fiscal policies to pump up during the 2008, okay? They use billions of money to pump the economy, so the economy moves a little bit, okay? Then they reduce the interest rate. The interest rate for US from 3% all the way down to almost 0%, 0.25 to be exact. Okay, so they keep lowering the interest rate, and they keep printing money. Is it helping? Not much. So we have come to, the whole world has come to a level whereby no matter how much you print money, no matter how low you reduce the interest rate, the economy is sluggish. The whole world, in fact, is experiencing this. So, so this is why, as an investor, we look into this, and then we have to think of what kind of investment is good for us. Okay, so in the end, you will have to look at the basic, what the people actually need. The people actually need food and lodging, which is properties. So properties is still okay, provided yours is on a low cost. Okay, not high end, okay, low cost. Okay. Housing prices, all this, because during the subprime crisis 2008, right, that was because of the collapse of the property prices in the US that caused a huge, massive of defaults on the mortgage loans. And because when people cannot pay their mortgages, the bank that lend out those, they got default, and then the bank will close down. And then when a lot of small banks close down, the big banks affected. So that's why you have Lehman Brothers and Citibank and those financial larger banks were affected during that time. Okay, because of the mortgage loan. Now, if the oil price. During the 2008, I was giving a talk at the Popular. Okay, at that time the oil price was 140 US dollars per barrel, 140. And during that time, many people thought that it will go up to 200 USD per barrel. Okay, but because of high crude oil price, then the interest rate starts to increase because of high inflation. And when interest rates start to increase, then the price will collapse. So during that time, but before that, I have already seen that the technical analysis, the price of the crude oil is in fact is going to have a big fall because it has a very sharp rise. Usually when you have a sharp rise, it will be followed by a sharp drop. This is technical analysis. Okay, if it's a gradual rise, very seldom then it will have a sharp fall. It's always very abrupt because it's overbought. When it's overbought, then it's become oversold. So it's something like a physics. We talk about momentum. Okay, so that's technical analysis. So for example, you look at, if you want to analyze the KLCI, you want to invest in the local stock market, you look at the macro picture first. The macro picture will be the economic data. So I just select a few. Okay, so when you were asked what is the GDP, the CPI, and the balance of trade, you must have some rough ideas. Okay, so can you tell me the GDP for Malaysia is around 4%. Okay, pass. The CPI it's on a month-on-month basis, okay? It's around 1.5%. Okay, so is that a high or low CPI? Anything below 3 is good for inflation rate. CPI is inflation, by the way, inflation. CPI, anything below 3% is okay. You do not want to have a deflation. Deflation meaning that your price is negative. Because you may think that, oh, the lower the better, right, for the people, but negative is also no good. Because if the prices are too low, why, as a producer, why do I want to produce anything? Because I'm not making money. The price is too low. So you discourage people to produce. Okay? So you do not want to have a deflation, which is actually happening. Because you have a very low crude oil price. And then the food price is also very low. Singapore already has a negative inflation. Okay? Then the balance of trade. For developing country like us, we are strong in export. So our balance of trade is always usually positive.